welcome to Arcade Couch, the best place to join your friends and get your game goodness each and every Monday. My name's John Blight, and joining me on the couch this week, Ashley Hobley.
Excited to be back on the couch this week.
Welcome back, you to the couch. Also here, Kieran Marchant.
Excited to be back on the couch this week.
Welcome. Yay!
Oh God, that's a bit.
This would have been a good
podcast.
bit for Cold Lamb last week. But, I mean, we can talk about it this week. But
well, we're going to
last
talk
week
about it
was
at some point today.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah,
that's fine. Good time.
Yeah.
This week on the show.
He's either playing something or he's waiting to play something.
I think I had an aneurysm, to be completely honest.
Like it was such a hard cut that I was waiting for something to happen.
I think I was gonna do something, and then I completely forgot, and I was like,
I thought you'd set up a bit. I thought
no, I had a bit,
started,
and then I forgot, and then all life drained from me.
You panicked. There was such panic.
Yeah, this week on the show, fucking video game stuff. I don't know. But first, I want to talk about Pokemon Worlds, right? So so prior to recording, I'm talking a little bit about this. I'm saying I've got it on the background. I've had it on in the background since yesterday. So we're recording this on Friday. World started Thursday. It runs until Sunday, so it'll be over by the time this is 4 days. I've had it on whenever I've been like home in the background. Now, I start talking about this. Kieran leaves the Discord call when I say something about Pokemon
because
Unite.
No. You were like,
so I'm watching Pokemon Unite.
Yeah.
No.
Disconnected.
It started with, it's so good to be watching esports again. I was watching Pokemon Unite, and then I was like, I'm out of here. This is fucking...
Why are you elitist about what counts as an esport?
I'm not elitist. I just don't think Pokemon Unite... I think Pokemon Unite has some like integrity problems in terms of its items and... the pay-to-win aspect of those items around it.
But you can just hey, no items.
But is that a thing? But then that's the point. Then you're separating the esport from your actual game. Because the items are a big part of that game.
Do you think everyone that's playing on this Pokemon World Championship stage doesn't have all the items unlocked?
No, but it's a barrier to entry. You have to have all the items unlocked and maxed out before.
No, not really. It depends. If to get better at the game, I guess you do, but...
To be at the level of a pro, which is like the top 0.01% of the player base, yes, you would need to have all the items fully maxed that you would need for your role or your...
Yeah, in League of Legends, you have to play enough to unlock all the runes and level them up.
Yeah, but that there isn't like a pay-to-win aspect of that.
No, but you can unlock all the stuff in Pokemon for free.
You can just pay for... I assume... Can you pay for all the runes?
You can't pay for runes. No,
you can.
I thought you couldn't.
No, you can't.
No. Fair enough. League of Legends is the same problem then.
Fuck all these games.
All MOBAs are...
MOBAs are bad.
No MOBAs are esports. That's what Kieran's saying here.
No. Dota 2 is an esport. League of Legends pretends to be an esport and does very well at it.
I was going to say, definitely not the largest...
Actually, no.
That's... Pull that headline.
League of Legends is too good
Former
of an esport,
esports
so we
host
have to beat up on Pokemon Unite. We have to pummel Pokemon Unite doing. Now get it. Fucking talk about it, Dylan. Go on, get into it.
What's your question though, Ash? Because before I were recording, I'm like, I'll touch on Pokemon World Champions quickly.
Before I'll set you up. And bring you back for one special episode only. It's Early Late Nights with Dylan Blight!
Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome to Early Late Nights with Dylan Blight. Tonight I'm going to be talking about what's been happening in the Pokemon World Championships over in London. I'm Kieran! Look at me, I remember hosting this show before I quit. Now I host it! Is that good? Or?
You had that in your back pocket for a while.
I feel like this is one of those shows, or those episodes. And I'm here for it.
What's your question, Ash?
So, Pokemon Go is part of the Pokemon World Championships, right?
Yeah.
For the first time.
Kieran leaves the Discord again.
How does that work? How are they competing in Pokemon Go?
Okay, so
are they fighting with their Pokemon, or is there like 100 people in a room and they're like, whoever comes back with the most Pokemon wins?
So Pokemon
Please
Go...
say number 2.
No, it's not number 2.
Fuck.
Pokemon Go championships, both here and then any other like actual like sanctioned tournaments, because they actually had prior to Worlds they had 2 Australian qualifiers. I think one was in like Adelaide weirdly or somewhere, and then the one was in Melbourne. Fuck off, Kieran. And then so how it works is you have to, because usually when you go into Pokemon battles in Pokemon Go, you bring 3 Pokemon on your team, and you do the battling. So when you do it in the tournament factors, you can make a team of 6. You have to write down that team and pre-select those Pokemon, and they're the Pokemon you're allowed to use. Your opponent has access to the 6 that you have selected. They don't know which of those 6, the 3 you're going to pick to bring into the battle. But you do best out of 3, and that means the second and third battle you can actually change out which Pokemon you're using and what team you're doing. But yeah. That's how.
And then, like, the night before, you go up to your opponent and you get them super fucking drunk, and you're like, man, I'll trade you your Lugia for
For a
this Squirtle. And they'll be like, yeah, man. And then,
I was
yeah.
about to say you
squirts.
accidentally drop something on their tapping finger, but
Yeah, exactly.
I'll do it too. But no,
Put a
so
cut in their finger. Yeah.
first year that Pokemon Go's been at the World Championships. It's also the first Pokemon World Championships for like 3 years because of COVID, which is good. Like having people competing. They've got masks on and stuff, but they're competing in a building together, which is cool. First time Pokemon Go is going to be part of it, so you'll have your inaugural Pokemon Go World Champion, which is kind of cool if you're that person, because you are the first. And then Pokemon Unite the first time, because that game's only a year old, as we worked out quite recently. Pokemon Unite being only a year old, that's the first time that's in, so they'll have an inaugural team winner, of course. That's a team game, so that's cool. But then, of course, you've got the TCG game happening at the same time, the video game stuff, and then Pokken DX tournament as well is the final thing. So, no, I've been enjoying it. I have it on in the background. I had it on my TV. They've got a squad thing when you're watching it in your browser, so you can like sort of have all 4 streams, because they're happening on different channels. So like there's a Pokemon Unite Twitch channel, there's a Pokemon TCG channel, there's a Pokemon, like they're all, and all of it's happening at like the same time. So you can sort of switch between them, whichever one you want to watch.
So all 4 combined is a watchable esports.
I mean, I don't think trading card game counts as an esport, so...
You know, it could be. I have a Pokemon question, and this is nothing to do with the World Championship, but it created great discourse in a Discord call I was in last night. And like both of your opinions, is Charizard a dragon?
Should be.
I don't think it is, no.
No, he's not a dragon type, so he's not
No.
a dragon.
So he's not a dragon, no.
No, he's a fucking fire lizard.
Yeah, I was about to say he's a lizard, yeah.
He's a fucking fire lizard. So all you people out there who like, nah, Charizard's a dragon, you're fucking wrong.
Was that the conversation that Charizard?
Yeah, it was, and people were very adamant that Charizard was a dragon because he looks like a dragon.
I mean, I hate to say it at the time, but it's literally a Google search away. Like, what is the?
It
type
is,
of Charizard?
but people still disagreed with that Google search.
I mean, you can't disagree. Like, Pokemon have typings in a thing
They
called
do.
Pokedexes
They 100%
that exist in
do.
every game. Yeah.
Yeah, no, 100%. It's why Dragonite is a dragon, because
Yes.
it's in the name, Dragonite. Yeah.
Well, you just wait till the new one, whether it's the whatever thing they added. There'll be a dragon version of Charizard.
Maybe.
You know, where you can get new
crystallized
types.
thing.
Yeah.
Possibly. Right, let's get into some non-Pokemon stuff this week. Reviews that have come out this week. So firstly, I've wrote a review for We Are OFK. So this is a game that has shown up at many PlayStation State of Plays, showed up at a couple Switcheroonies, whatever they're called, Switch Directs.
Lots of indie showcases,
indie
Switch places.
showcases.
Everybody's super anticipated for it.
Yep, I was
Everybody's
super
been-
excited. I gave it a 5 out of 10. So this is an interesting one. I feel like, so last time I checked, I was like the second lowest score on OpenCritic. I don't know if that's changed since yesterday when I checked, but I don't feel like there's a lot of people around 6s just above me. Like there's a fair
Yep.
few 6s, so I don't feel like
It's
you
not
know,
like you're way off.
no. And 5 on our scale is okay.
It's like a 7 on most other people.
Yeah, I was about to say, and then a lot of other people. Yeah, so
on the average gamer's critique scale.
On the average gamer scales, it's like a 7. So, but 5 is okay on our scale. So, which is what I think the game is. So, in case you don't know what the game is, it's a interesting sort of idea. It is like a virtual band, and there's real music created by this band that's going to be released under the band's name. So OFK, if you search them up on Spotify or whatever, you'll be able to find the music. They did a virtual performance at the Game Awards like last year or whatever. Like, so think Gorillas, or whatever. Yeah, think Gorillas. So, the game is you're playing through the origin story of this virtual band, how the band was formed and all these sorts of things. So on paper, it always sounded really cool and interesting. In execution, I had a lot of issues, primarily to do with the way the story's told, a combination of both how the story is told and like just sort of I guess the writing as well as the other factor that sort of annoyed me. So you have...
What is your problem with it in it, bruv?
Yeah, no, not quite that, but... So my number one problem with the game, and the thing I spend the most time complaining about in my review, because it really... I would be like enjoying the game, and then second this would happen, and it would make me want to like... I zoned out. Like, I completely sort of switched off. It was so distracting to me. Which is that a lot of the game's story happens through text messages. So this is someone in the game flicking open their phone. A phone screen appears like sidebars, and you're clicking X, just reading these text messages. And that is a lot of the game, which I think on its own I would have had a problem with. Slowly, because I think it's too much. Like, there's too much characters texting in the game to the point that's just one issue for me.
But that's how people talk now.
But
you know,
I don't care.
How much do you talk to Buddy? You know,
yeah,
as opposed to text.
I don't care if it's realistic or not. At a certain point, I have to go, what's good for gameplay? What's good for engaging? And at a certain point, like, people just texting backwards and forwards, it's not engaging. Like, that's the... Yeah.
Do you control what your character sends?
So you can, every now and then, you'll get a choice.
Oh, that's worse.
They don't really matter, to be honest. Because that's the thing. To clarify something else, yes, you do have some slight character choices in this game. However, they don't really matter because they know that, like, these are very distinct characters who have, like, distinct personalities and directions for their characters and so on and so forth. So you don't really shape or have control over anyone. It does that whole, like, fake thing, which, you know, your brain is aware that you don't have much control. So again, that sort of is another disconnect I have where I'm like, nothing I do really matters, so what do I care, sort of thing. But then the other thing I had was the way the characters speak in this game, the shorthand text structure, the lingo. I'm gonna say it, and it makes me sound old as fuck. It was driving me up the fucking wall. It was.
Old man Dylan.
Hey.
Old man Dylan.
Old man Dylan. But
hating on the youth.
And it's not
in their own ways.
It's not even. Oh, this is It's not even. Oh, this is just annoying, but I can understand at least. There were several times where I'm like, I have no idea what the fuck these people just said. Like, they would be using, like, lingo and stuff like that. I'm like, I literally feel like I'm reading another language. I have no idea what the fuck you're talking about. Like, right now I'm so confused with what's happening. But then it was just all the other stuff that annoyed me too, like with all the shorthand text stuff, like, you know, you, like all that stuff that I did in high school. I'm like, who texts like that anymore? I don't. Like, we all have predictive autocorrect text. Like, there's no need for anyone to text like that. Like, who does that? I don't understand. It just, like, who does that? Tell me the last time you've ever, like, really.
I mean, I've never, but that's
because you're an old fucking man. I did in high school. Exactly. I definitely did in high school.
So I like to put complete words. You know, I don't like butchering the English language. Yeah. You know, it's fine, I guess. You know.
Yeah.
I feel like maybe it's not accurate now, but it evokes youth to older people. Then maybe.
I guess so.
Continue.
But like, so that, those two things combining with I find this is just too much phone text as is, combined with now I can't even understand, and these characters like texting is just like annoying. Like combine those two things, and it was a major turn off point for me. Outside of that, I enjoyed what was here for the most part. The standout thing is the music's actually really good. So I would like, even if you're not going to play the game, like check out the music or whatever, because the songs are actually good.
I've had, since it was announced like last year, I've had follow unfollow like on my like random playlist for that whole time.
Yeah. So I think there's like 5 songs total, one for each episode. Maybe there's a 6. I can't remember if there was 2 in one, but all of the songs are really good. The best song's probably in chapter 3. Oh, that's something. So the game's like so the first 2 chapters are out. They came out like Friday or today, I guess, as I'm recording. And then they're doing 1 a week from here on out. So for the next 3 weeks, I think. Yeah, 5 episodes total. I got to play all of them ahead of time for the review, which was cool. But I would say the first 2 episodes, releasing them together smart, because I would say it takes those 2 to really get an understanding of who these characters sort of are and like what the deal is, which is probably why they did it that way. And yeah, by the time you get to the end, there are some really cool adult story beats in here, but I also feel like the game's persistent nature to fall into this, making everything like hip and cool and we're young, sort of just like really ruins any like tone of having some of these adult discussions. Like there are characters like so the main character is I can't remember anyone's name. Hold on, I've got him here somewhere in my review. Where we got, so Itsumi is like I took as like the main character. I feel like she's the person you spend the most time with. She's like this girl. She plays piano, keyboard, or whatever. She's like, they're all friends in one way or another, but they all like very different. Everyone works in the video game industry. The game does a lot of shots at how shitty the video game industry is and how much these people sort of want out of it and how their bad experience is, which I think is like coming from a like place of past experience from the developers of the game. Is how I definitely took all of that sort of thing, because they're all working like not big jobs. Like she does social media, for example. Some of the characters do like art and background stuff. Like they're not major jobs. They're all like sort of the jobs that they easily get treated like shit. So she's really cool. She develops this romance with Jay like fairly early, which is this. She's a bit older than them. She's this producer, I guess. Yeah, that's the word. Like she makes the songs sound cool and whatever else. So she's like an engineer and stuff like that. So that's their sort of thing there. The main lead singer is Luca. He is. I don't remember who I saw say this or who I'm stealing it from, so I can't give them a shout out. But I did see someone describe as. Actually, it might have been Charlie's review over at Checkpoint, actually, where I read this. So, yeah, shout-outs there, I think. But they're called Luca, like, the most stereotypical white bisexual character. And I was like, yeah, that's probably about right. Like, it is, like... I think that hits on the nail. Like, it is pretty much the very loud and proud bi white dude character. Not to say that character's bad, but it's just very sort of one note. And constantly complaining about stuff that doesn't really matter at all. So Luca's sort of fine, but I definitely would like say not my favorite character. Carter's the most underplayed character who definitely deserve more time. So they are a I'm forgetting what the actual term is now, but pronouns are they them, right? So straight away you've got like sort of a that, and the fact that they're a programmer, they make a cat, and the cat's also has the pronouns they them. So there's a lot of like stuff there, but the character's also very quiet and constantly shoved into the background, and everyone's sort of picking up everyone else's shit and dealing with everyone else's shit, and then they get one episode, I think it's episode 4, which is sort of dedicated to Carter, and you get to explore a little bit of their background for a bit. And I was like, wow, this is really cool. And then it's like, okay, and now we're sort of over. I was like, wow, there's a lot of interesting stuff here. I feel like Carter should have got a bit more time. But now let's go back to people fucking texting, because Carter doesn't really text, so I love that. I was like, Carter's not on the phone all the time. How good are they? Let's go back to the other cast and fucking text you all the time, the stupid words. Mostly it's Luca. Maybe that's why Luca's my least favorite character, because he's just fucking doing my head in with
Just
the...
talk.
Yeah, it's just fucking... Oh, God, driving me at the wall. Anyway, the voice cast is all fantastic. I can't blame it on any of the performances and all that. Like, voice cast is definitely...
Is that the problem? Because the voice cast is good.
No, the
They
voice-
just choose to not
Yeah, I don't know.
talk.
Yeah, maybe, I don't know. But yeah, then, yeah, I don't know. And then I guess the other thing, if you're one of those people who's like complains about similar games where it's like, this isn't a video game, I'm just playing a TV show or a movie. This is a game that's 100% designed to be like a Netflix series. To the point that when you even boot up the game, it comes up with a Netflix-like screen that says pick your profile, and you can pick an icon like you do for your Netflix profile and everything like that. And then when you start each and every episode, there is an intro screen, like an intro credit sequence that you can skip like you can on Netflix. So... yeah.
I heard there's like there's a screen that tells you how long the episode's got to go.
Yep. So right at the start, it'll tell you when you hover over the episode, it'll tell you the length. They're all about an hour or slightly less than an hour. And then if you pause the game, it'll actually come up down the bottom like you're pausing a TV show and say you're at 44 minutes out of 60 or whatever.
Yep.
Yep.
I'm going to put it out there. I reckon eventually this comes to Netflix.
I mean,
In much the way that what was it?
Telltale's
Telltale's Minecraft came to Netflix.
It would suit.
Old Minecraft.
It would honestly suit. The only stuff where you ever really do anything with the controller other than making decisions, the only part where you're doing anything like controlling the character at all or anything like that is during the music video scenes. You do get sort of control of the camera and the character at times. So I say quote unquote music videos because they're not music videos the characters are shooting. There's these they're like metaphorical music videos, you know, like the song's playing, like let's say a character's going for a sad moment, like it's all very
So it's like an actual music video.
yes, so it is like a music video, but it's not something that's actually happening IRL. It's just like but you're sort of directing it. If that makes any sort of sense. I don't really know if it does. But like say there's a part where like a character is like say walking down the street and they're really sad. You're like controlling them walking down. You can walk left or right. There's another, the best one, the one I was saying from episode 3 is there's a part where you have control of the camera and like you can move it left and right and the character's like face will follow you. So like when you get into the beat and everything and you're feeling the music, I definitely was like moving the camera at the pace I felt sort of matched the music video and stuff. And that's all stuff really cool. Look, the music video stuff's definitely the highlight of the game. I feel like that's, yeah. And that was a big part in the embargo. They're like, don't spoil the music video stuff. So try not to, but all that stuff's really cool. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, look, I've seen people, obviously some people really love the game. That's fine. I wish it did. I was really excited for it. But yeah, it obviously didn't click for me, but that's fine. Like review at the end of the day is just an opinion. And my opinion is I hate text messages.
Sucks.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know what else to tell you. So,
Yeah.
definitely did make me feel fucking old though. Is how
Yeah.
I thought I was the target audience.
How do
but-
you know how I feel?
Yeah. I thought I was the target audience, but I was like, maybe I'm not.
No,
Maybe I'm
no.
not. It's wrong. So, but I was nearly going to give it a 6, and then I started writing a review. I'm like, I fucking no, it's fine. Like,
These text messages.
yeah, I was like, the angrier I got, I was like, I'm lower. Like, I need to be honest with myself sometimes. Just, and then
So, if you want a high score here at the Esports Network, no text messages.
yeah, no text messages. Okay. I mean,
Use full words.
use full words. I just could. The fact that there's a scene in the last episode where a character literally says someone answers a phone call and they're like, "Oh, who talks on the phone anymore?" or something like that. I was like, I fucking hate you. Like, I was like, please. The other review that went up on the website this week was Live Alive, which I still hate as a video game title because you write it anywhere, and whatever platform you're on wants to autocorrect it to Live Alive. So they're like, that's not a real sentence of words. I'm like, no.
Is it Live Alive or is it Live a Live?
Live a Live or whatever. Fuck, I don't know how to say it. All I know is it's Live. Live Live. Live Alive. Live Alive. Fuck up.
Or Live a Live?
Live a Live. I don't know. Whatever. Dumb name. Anyway, Will reviewed it. He said, overall, I found the uniqueness and eccentricity of whatever video game this is called, Live, to be a great playthrough and suited to how I play games, especially on Nintendo Switch. Its chapters were easy to pick up and play due to the separation in the story, but retained a core DNA, making it a breeze to engage with and play through. The gameplay is engaging but streamlined to the point where some of them may find it easy, but the constant changes in chapters and new ideas make it so the game will still has layers of freshness throughout. So yeah, reading through his review, he did point out that all of the chapters are relatively short, and having them broken up into this chapter structure instead of like these massive things that you have to play through actually made it something that suited the Switch sort of I'll pick up and play through this one chapter this evening. It's an hour, and you know, you sort of got an end goal. Gameplay wise, it is a tactical RPG, like tactical RPG, like Final Fantasy Tactics or whatever, sort of thing. So which I didn't realize, so I was like, oh, so looks cool. Maybe I missed that memo. The thing of this game is that it was never released outside of Japan. It's one of these ones where they it was on whatever the console was back in the day. And then
Super Nintendo.
Super Nintendo, yeah, that sounds about right. They released it on like the Wii U store as a digital release. Was the only time the original one, but this is one where they've got they've updated the pixel art and music and that sort of stuff. It's not like a straight port. So gave it a 8 out of 10. Check out the full review on the website. All right, let's get into the news for this week. Firstly, let's go talking about esports. We love esports this week. Kotaku writes, Melbourne esports team Order has entered voluntary administration. A new report from Australian has detailed the popular team's seeming financial collapse, which comes after it raised $5.3 million in private funding in 2021, the largest captain raising for an esport. ANZ esports.
I think it's capital rising.
Raising.
That's good too. I was about to say, I don't know what that means. Capital rising would make
rising.
sense. For an ANZ esports organisation at the time, former Melbourne Demons executive Mark Edwards was appointed as CEO. CPS Capital Managing Director Jason Peterson and Jamel Group Chairman Harry Carellos led the charge on raising that capital. There we go. And Carellos was appointed to Order's board of directors. The company's ASIC records show it's currently under external administration. So it's a good sign. The news comes only weeks ahead of DreamHack Melbourne, an international esports tournament launching its first Australian event. Order was expected to have a significant presence at DreamHack Melbourne. ESL Australia Marketing and Sales Head Graham DeToit says it's currently unknown if Order's teams across Counter-Strike, Global Offensive, League of Legends, Valorant, Fortnite and FIFA will still be represented at the event. From what I've seen, pretty much everyone that was part of Order found out about this like pretty much overnight before the news posted. A bunch of people... Even I can't remember.
You know what sucks?
I saw one person move down to like Melbourne like a week ago.
Like it was a day before payday, and they're on a monthly cycle.
Yeah, so
so they can keep working, but they're working for nothing at the moment.
Yeah.
So whoever comes in has to back pay all the wages and recuperate everything. I know the $5 million and whatever it was raised last year. They tried to go into like a clothing range and try to establish themselves brand-wise elsewhere about the esports scene, but fucking sucks. I guess they didn't make it big with the Pokemon Unite team, but
wow,
it sucks because the Orders has been a really big organization for Australian esports for years. Myself coming from the Overwatch scene. They've been in Overwatch in the OCE contenders for really since its admittance and it's very sad and it's very close to home. It's weirdly close to home. Like Order does a lot of work in Melbourne. I
was going to say they're based out of Melbourne, so that's
why they're based out of Melbourne.
That's why all these people kept like I was reading stories about people moving to Melbourne recently to work for Order and now being stuck there. So. Because obviously Melbourne's the esports hub of Australia. So
I think this continues to lend itself to Australia is going to need a lot of help to grow an esports scene and to grow in this way because, this is another organisation that's failed in the waters because there isn't much support in Australia. Australia has the poorest infrastructure for esports in the world in many ways. It's so hard for us to play in tournaments and to be playing events and for developers to come and bring their esports backing and support and infrastructure to our country because our internet fucking sucks and we're so far away from everything. we've pretty much got to have our own scene of everything, and that doesn't really foster and grow talent the same way as having multi-regional divisions and being able to, so many great Australian talents have to leave Australia to go play in a Southeast Asian country or play in China or move all the way to Europe. So many developers and esports organizations now are electing to make Southeast Asian teams because there is a depth of Southeast Asian talent, and if Australian talent wants to be a part of that, you need to either move or play at a disadvantage at a high latency in those tournaments. Like, I think there is a lot of work. I think the Australian government or the state governments need to be chipping in a lot more. I think it comes back to Australia's infrastructure in general. The NBN is, in many ways, been outdated even since it was first rolled out. Makes me so sad when you see an American person online complain about their shitty internet, and then they tweet 300 megabits a second as their shitty internet, and you're like, man, our top of the range, really, unless you're paying an exorbitant amount of money, it's just below 100, and it's not reliable. I think there's just a lot of effort that needs to be put in to grow esports in general, for organizations to find it viable in this situation. And makes me very sad. And makes, I think COVID did a really
I was gonna say I do wonder
against
how much of this is just COVID.
COVID, well, especially COVID has stopped the last two potentially.
The last two Melbourne
MEOs.
Esports and ESLs and any other smaller events that were just run.
Even just and these events themselves might not be massive successes, but they would be, the Victorian government's jump in support for esports and gaming in general after the first Melbourne Esports Open was exorbitant. So if we had a couple of those in a row, maybe more states would be on board. Maybe there'd be more work and more litigation be put into this.
Well, it's heralded as a massive success, so I mean.
Yeah, it was. It was a huge success. I loved going. It was, it was really fun. And Order was Order was a very big part of it. I believe they won the Australian contenders for Overwatch that year.
And then ILEM.
Oh no, it was Sydney Drop Bears, but they were a part of it. Sorry, Order was a part of it. And IEM
not in Melbourne, but still, obviously they would have.
They do it in the Opera House normally. Normally
that's still an event
massive,
they would have participated in. So
and it brings a lot of eyes in, because you're not only Melbourne Esports is probably a smaller thing because it is very more localized. IEM, you're bringing international talent to the Sydney Opera House. There are thousands of viewers on Twitch and on live streaming services. There is, I just feel like the impact's so much bigger. So, hopefully, PAX is a start of it. PAX to a lesser extent with some minor esports events going on that generally run through it. We begin to see more and more of these kind of events happen throughout the year, and it starts building that momentum again for Australian esports, because it very much needs a kickstart right now, and hopefully we see the benefits of that.
They could still technically be, someone can purchase them, so I mean, hopefully that.
Yes. Yeah. I hope so too.
Just run down this, not all directly video game related, but I just wanted to say that I did post a whole bunch of coverage from Wizards Presents. So the video game sort of adjacent related stuff to this was that I'd say that so I reckon you'll see this on Twitch once it's out, that they're Wizards is going to be putting out for the next version of Dungeons and Dragons and part of D&D Beyond. They're actually working on in Unity. They're making a digital system where you can have miniatures and maps and stuff like that. So I reckon you'll start seeing a bunch of people using that to stream D&D and stuff, and it looks really, really good for something that's still being worked on.
Even just for a case of many players, so many players online are using Roll20 and other tabletop softwares, and there's plugins that join D&D Beyond into those systems. Now that, for this short period, now that Wizards have had direct control of D&D Beyond again, you think you want D&D Beyond to be your one-stop shop for Dungeons and Dragons, to have all that stuff there, have it all integrated together, have it all working well. Don't make it feel like it needs to be this kind of shoestring put together system where you're kind of joining different systems together.
Yeah.
Like, just make it easy for players everywhere to get involved.
How much of this did you read through this morning since it dropped?
I've read through bits and pieces. I watched a couple of videos on it while I was.
Did you see? Well, I think one of the coolest pieces to come out of this was because now that they've got Beyond, they got it so you can purchase a digital physical bundle, so you can get a digital copy of the
I've
book.
always been a big advocate for my biggest reason for not buying physical copies of D&D books anymore is the fact that it doesn't come with a code in the back of the book for a digital version of the same thing.
So they're like hey, for the people who want to collect them for the nice art and stuff, here you go. But like everyone knows 100%. That having an iPad on your table instead of 10 books is a lot more friendly. That takes up less space. And then the other things, of course, Magic the Gathering stuff, which will not all of this will be coming to Arena. I don't know, and I hope some stuff does, like obviously the mobile and PC Magic game. But they announced the Doctor Who collaboration. I don't think they'll actually come to Arena because a lot of these spin-off ones don't. But the first one that is of all these is there's a Lord of the Rings Magic the Gathering set coming out. It will be playable and will actually release in Magic the Gathering Arena alongside the physical release, which is cool to see. I think that's because this is the first time one of these universes Beyond, which is like their collaboration sets, is going to be fully draftable modern legal set. So it's something that they're actually putting a lot of effort into. So that'll be good to play for people who don't play the physical game and just want to play the digital PC version of that. That's really cool. So yeah, I'm keen for that. And also they went over everything coming to like the next year of Magic the Gathering storytelling across all the sets, and to me it just sounded like they're fucking like setting up a Avengers Infinity War Endgame scenario at some stage. Like, we got this set, it's called March of the Machine, and then they're like, and then it'll come a couple months later, we've got March of the Machine, the Aftermath, which is like, what happens? I was like, it's like, it was Infinity War Endgame, alright. Whatever, so. Yeah, if you want to read more about stuff from Wizards Presents, all that's on the website. Press start. Embracer Group just announced another round of acquisitions, including Middle-earth Enterprises, Tripwire Interactive, and Limited Run. So, yeah, wake up the other morning and Embracer's like, we fucking brought everything, bro. All your video games are ours. Embracer Group, the Swedish video game holding company that basically owns everything at this point, writes Kieran on Pressa, has announced its intentions to own even more of everything. Last time we heard from the company that holds some of the gaming industry's biggest publishers as subsidiaries like THQ Nordic, PlayOn, Saber Interactive, and Gearbox, it had just acquired all of Square Enix's Western studios, along with the IP such as Tomb Raider and Deus Ex. This time around, Embracer Group has acquired a number of different entities, including studios, publishers, and IP holders, with some being acquired under a newly created Embracer operating group called Free Mode. The newly formed operative group would probably focuses on 6 different marketing segments that include retro, classic, heritage, gaming and entertainment, games development and production devices, gears and collectible, community and e-commerce, new idea and technology incubation, and production services. Embracer Group's Free Mode has already acquired studios in Japan, Tatsujin, and Sweden, Bitwave Games, and as of today, reports will now also include Singtrix, vocal effects tech company, Middle-earth Enterprises, the rights holder to the vast majority of the Lord of the Rings and the Hobbit IP, and also Limited Run Games, a long-standing publisher of physical and digital video game releases. The Middle-earth Enterprises acquisition is especially interesting as it indicates the group's intentions to expand into other media such as film, a sentiment echoed in the press release saying, quote, other opportunities include exploring additional movie based on the iconic characters such as Gandalf, Aragorn, Gollum, Galadriel, Eowyn, and fucking struggle, hey? And other characters from the literary works of J.R.R. Tolkien, and continue to provide new opportunities for fans to explore this fictive world through merchandising and other experiences. Meanwhile, under the Saber Interactive arm, Embracer has also acquired 2 other studios in the form of Tripwire Interactive, who did Man Eater and Killing Floor, and Tuxedo Labs, who done Teardown. Ash, when you woke up and saw all this stuff, what were your thoughts?
Like, oh, why is everybody making jokes about Embracer? Like, they're being bought by Embracer, they're owned by Embracer. It's like, oh, okay.
You saw the memes before the news.
Yeah. I'm like, we need to chase up the story. I mean, surprising, I guess. Well, to a certain degree, because really, Embracer hasn't put out much. They've just bought a lot of stuff.
Yeah, so is Microsoft.
How they're getting all this money to buy stuff, I don't know. That's it's like, what point are people going to make? Is Embracer at the same point as Tencent at this point? Is like, we feel uncomfortable about how much stuff they've bought. I think the other thing, especially because like a Saudi Arabian like prince or whatever, like invested like a bunch of money into Embracer, so it's getting to that same kind of problematic kind of point in video games. So yeah, kind of weird, like, especially like, I guess it's good for like something like limited run games, like to have like financial support of like a massive group like Embracer. Lord of the Rings seems like a weird choice for that company, but I guess they've got the money and they decided to spend it. But yeah, interesting, especially when they've got that Rings of Power show about to drop in like a week.
Well, Lord of the Rings has always had like a really weird rights.
It's
setup.
all over the place.
It's always been very strange on the licensing for Lord of the Rings is all over the place.
Kieran, do you have any other thoughts?
I don't know overly heaps other than what you told me. I woke up today, went to work, changed a couple of tires, got home, and you telling me this story now is the first I've heard of it. So
it happened 2 days ago, but that's fine. I mean,
that's that's what today was, and yesterday and the day before, much the same.
Same. Had to change a couple tires.
Only had to change those tires today. Didn't have to do it yesterday or the day before. But no, it is. It's interesting. Lord of the Rings or any kind of property like that, I'm always pessimistic about because we've had so many. Just even with the movies, Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit are two very different franchises and very different series, and I won't get started on them. But I just hope. You need some very special writers to take the works of Tolkien and improve on them and branch them outwards without completely fucking something up or ruining something. So, I hope. Yeah.
Hopefully, we get a video game. Where we play as like a young Gandalf, like learning to become a wizard. Like maybe at some sort of school in which there's a bunch of wizards.
Ash, I will leave this Discord call.
And you're able to roam around like freely around this place. Maybe they have some sort of games like on broomsticks or something, and then there's like no transphobes around.
That doesn't sound like Lord of the Rings at all. Weta Workshop though has announced it's partnering with Private Division to develop a new Lord of the Rings game. This story popped about a day before the story we just talked about, so I don't know.
So how does that work?
I don't know, but let me read.
Because obviously we've got the Golem game in the works at the moment
I
as
don't
well.
understand how they're fucking.
Are they paying licensing fees to Embracer
so.
right now? I guess.
Press Start Rights Take-Two interactive publishing label Private Division has announced that it's entered an agreement with New Zealand visual effects powerhouse Weta Workshop to develop a brand new game set in the Lord of the Rings universe. Weta established a game development branch back in 2014, but is obviously best known for its work with both practical and digital VFX in the film industry, including on the Mammoth Lord of the Rings trilogy. The studio has reportedly secured licensing for delivery works from Middle-earth Enterprises, which means they'll have the broadest creative license to interpret the underlying lore of the books. In a blog post on its website, Weta says the game is still in early development, but it's expected to launch during Take-Two's 2024 physical year. I mean, having Weta Workshop, at least it's going to look good. Hey, here's the people who did the special effects on Lord of the Rings. They're making a Lord of the Rings game.
Doesn't Peter Jackson have some...
I don't think yes, he's like, I don't know what his exact role or like position or if he actually, surely he's at least on the fucking board of chair or some shit there, but I don't know, he wouldn't be involved in the game though, no.
But you think it's more likely, there was the story about the Amazon series that Peter Jackson reached out to read through their scripts. They said, yeah, sure, and they never sent him the scripts. There's more hope of them that, that's one I read recently about it, so, to say if, they could at least call upon that knowledge and that wealth of knowledge of somebody who's a 50% accuracy, 50% win rate with trilogies in the Lord of the Rings series. It's, I think it's got hope. It's got good foundations. let's actually see the game come out about it. You know, so many of these partnerships and development dreams are announced and never come to fruition. So we'll see how much these unfold in the coming years.
Let's talk about what we've been playing. Firstly, I'll go over. I played half an hour or so of Kirby's Dream Buffet. You can check out gameplay on explosionnetwork.com. I put up, or youtube.com/explosionnetwork, wherever. Put up some gameplay of that. It is fun. It's the one where that trailer dropped and everyone was like, "Oh, it kind of looks like
Fall
Guys, but with Kirby," which it's not really, but it kind of looks like it, I guess. So how it works is that I think the game's like $22 or something, so it's not free, it's not super expensive either. How it works is that you, in the main game, which I think they call Grand Prix weirdly or something like that, but so you'll start, and the goal is this: at the end of all the rounds, the Kirby, it's 4 players, the Kirby who has eaten the most wins, is the simplest form. So you do one race where you're sort of racing along and you can sort of get power-ups, sort of like it's Mario Kart or some shit like that, to speed yourself up and stuff like that. And you're trying to pick up food as you go along, which can slow you down or whatever. So the reason you don't want to just stop and eat all the food, because you may think, oh, why don't I just not race and just eat as much food as I can? It's because if you're the first to the goal at the end of the race, there's a massive cake that you can eat, which is worth a whole bunch of points. So you want to try and get that first place cake, just to get a huge lead. After that, you do a mini game. The mini game's sort of randomized, and they usually take say a minute. I think all up the game, playing a whole thing in this probably takes about 10 minutes. Maybe a bit less, but so then you do another one of these sort of races. The races up a mountain, more or less. A little bit of platforming involved, I guess. And then after that, you then go into a battle royale section where you're on this small area. All the Kirby's are, and strawberries are dropping from the sky, and you're trying to get them all to get the points, and then power-ups are dropping, and you can activate them to kick other people off the platform, and then if you kick another player off, it'll come up it's Smash and be so-and-so you destroyed you, or whatever it says, and you lose 30 strawberries or whatever every time that happens. So you can definitely come back from 4th place to first, which is typical Nintendo, I feel, competitive design, where it's no matter where you are in the match, you've always got a chance. You can the last match I did before I turned it off the other day, I was way ahead, and I knew I was way ahead because my Kirby was fat. My
Kirby was thick.
My Kirby was thick, son. But he was and that's the thing. You can tell between rounds how big your Kirby is the more you've ate, and I was fucking way ahead. But then I think all the other players just ganged up on me in that last section, and they just hit me off the platform so many times, and I ended up coming in second, so got destroyed. It's simple fun. It's definitely not going to hold your attention for hours and hours and hours as much as some of these other games, but obviously it's not designed to. It's not a live service game or anything like that. It's very much fits into that party game lineage that Kirby has with a lot of the Kirby games, except for designed primarily on multiplayer. You can play it couch co-op or whatever. You can play online with just friends, a password or whatever, and you can play versus AI if you want. There are unlocks, so Kirby costumes, Kirby color changes, accessories, stuff like that to unlock and whatever else. But yeah, for the price, I think it's acceptable. Bit of fun. You could definitely have a bit of fun with it. I was having fun. But yeah, it's not going to hold your attention for, I'd say, more than probably 10 hours. Something like that. So I reckon if it was free, a lot more people would jump into it. But then you get into the whole okay, well, if it's free, where are they making the money? What's the... Then you got to put some microtransactions in it. Sometimes I'm if a game's going to cost $20, it's only $20.
But $20 is a lot to the target demographic.
Yeah, I know, but
young kids.
You compare that to okay, so if they're not going to charge $20,
just crack this,
and they're going to make it free.
Just crack this into the free-to-play market.
What are we doing? What are the loot boxes? What's the?
Just dump it into the free-to-play market. Give me Kirby skins.
Wasn't there that Kirby Fighter one
Yeah, I don't know. Was
a
that
year
free?
or so ago that was free?
Was it?
Yeah.
What was the microtransactions in that?
I don't know. It's just Nintendo we want people playing games on the Nintendo Switch, so we're just going to put out games.
Yeah. Well, this is coming off the biggest year of the Kirby, so I understand probably why they're charging for it, because they know people are
That's true.
into
Apparently,
Kirby.
30th anniversary this week.
Oh, really? This week? Really? Okay.
No fanfare.
No.
You know? Nintendo only gives a fuck when it's 35 years, which is a stupid number.
35 is a
back
real...
here, are we? 35 is a better number than 30.
Never gonna let it go.
Never going to live.
30 is just another
Never
age
gonna
now.
let
35 is
down.
where it's at.
Ash,
Yes.
you finished Cold of Lamb.
I did finish Call of the Lamb.
How'd that go?
It's a great game. Of course, you talked about it briefly last week.
Yeah.
In which you lead a cult and also have like a roguelike battle encounters. You have to kill a bunch of gods, prophets, bishops. I don't know exactly. It's a lot of fun. It very much evokes Binding of Isaac, which is a game that I've put a lot of hours into, even to the extent where there's like rooms that you can go into and like donate health or donate coins. You get stuff in return and that kind of stuff. Yeah, really fun. Really feels really good to play. You know, I'm always going to have a preference about which weapons I prefer. You know, I'm not a big fan of the hammer, even though it's like the most powerful one. It's just very slow. And then you've got like a wide variety of different curses and that kind of stuff. So each run feels very different. Yeah, and then you've got this management element where you've got to try and keep all these followers happy, fed, build up more followers so you can open up different sections of the world, and you know, get more powers, like get more devotion. There's like a ton of skill trees and different things in this. My major gripe with the game is it is very buggy. At least on console.
Oh my god, the bugs on PC are frustrating.
They're bad as well, yeah.
They're really frustrating. Yeah.
If you have not started yet, here's my tip. So there's pretty much like through the tutorial phase, you fight through till you beat the first god. And you get I think it's called the Witness Eye, or whatever. So you can get one upgrade.
Yeah, do the
get
upgrade where you
the
can
upgrade where you can escape.
Where you can escape.
We can
whenever you
focus
want
and
to.
escape.
Yeah.
Because there are several occasions where I'm mid-run, I go to exit the room, and it does not load into the next room.
I've had two really frustrating ones, and the second one actually, I haven't gone back to it since because it was really fucking frustrating me. One was that you get tarot cards throughout the dungeons. Yes. I had the tarot card pop-up stuck on my screen. Yeah. And no matter what I could do, I tried playing a couple of rooms with it stuck. I was like, I can't. And yeah, I had to reset.
That's cool.
So I was like trying to play it with the fucking stuck behind this thing, not being able to see my character. Didn't work that well.
So I've
the
one I've had happen twice where I've had to quit. So I've gone to walk through the door to the next room and it's just stuck on a black screen. I can still hear the lamb walking around and everything. The solution I've found, and I haven't had it happen since, and maybe I'll be wrong, but I'm just in a habit because whenever I play these games, I'm just on a constant mode of like I'm apparently speed running everything. You know, like you're just rolling. Mm-hmm. So I think I stopped rolling into the exits, and this has stopped.
I had a room.
Yeah, this has stopped.
I had a challenge that was like, the next room don't roll, and if you don't roll, you'll get a bunch of gold. I was like, I can't do that. I have to roll.
Rolling feels so good.
I do it without thinking. Like I just speed roll.
The one I've had the one where there's one last like ghost enemy that's invisible that you just can't hit.
Oh, really? That's weird.
Yep.
I've had one where, and it's happened about 3 or 4 times to me. The last time I stopped playing the game, and I haven't gone back since for the last couple of days, where sometimes in boss fights, bosses will disappear for a phase so like mobs will come and attack, you clear the mobs, the boss comes back. I've had it now happen 3-4 times where the boss never comes back. The boss is just gone.
He's like, fuck this shit.
Yeah, he's just like, I'm done. See you later.
Yeah, I'm
not coming back.
I'm gonna go heal up.
And you're just stuck in the room, and there's no way to get out, no way to other than like bailing and losing all the fucking effort. So if you've done like, if you've gone like 3 tiers into one of the dungeons, it's like, oh well, I've just lost like a fucking 30 minutes of work and fuck my life.
But no, it's so fun that I'm willing to like. I've played through
100%.
all those bugs and all those issues. The only thing is, there's these snails that you're supposed to be able to find in the world and able to kill them and get shells that you need to get the platinum trophy.
I haven't seen a
they
single
don't
one
spawn.
of these. What the fuck?
They don't spawn.
Oh.
Oh, they don't
It's a
spawn
bug.
at
They
all.
don't
Okay.
spawn.
Oh, it's a bug.
So
It's-
again, nobody has gotten the platinum trophy yet in Cult of the Lamb.
This I will say, I love the base building in the cultists section of it.
It's
There
so
was
fun.
like one dude that was like, "Hey man, to increase my to increase my faith, I need you to make me food made of shit." And I was like, "Oh, okay, fine, I'll do that." He eats it, immediately gets sick and can't do work. I'm like, just got scammed. I just got absolutely scammed into giving this guy time off work. The fuck?
I think he was legit sick though.
He was legit
would
sick
be.
from the shit,
poo
but
eating, yeah.
he was asking for it, and like he knew it was going to make him
I
sick.
mean, it's really
These
interesting because
motherfuckers.
there's multiple ways you can play this game. Like you can
Be a jerk.
you can be a jerk. You can like be very nice to all your followers, I guess. Or like you can make them work super hard. Or you can like do some pretty messed up stuff, like make make them all cannibals, pretty much. Apparently, I don't know if you guys said it to being able to cannibalize followers,
Not
but
yet.
like
I've been up to it.
apparently, if you do set it and then somebody dies in your village, they like all just start devouring them.
Well,
instead of like
I've already
instead of what they currently do, at least in my game,
one of
throw up
my
everywhere.
Yeah.
one of my decrees was that everybody got happy when another cultist died
Really?
or was sacrificed. Like my faith would increase
Yeah,
if they died or I sacrificed somebody. I was a bit annoyed when the follower I'd put the most effort into and the most leveling all of a sudden became a fucking heretic. And I'm like, and starts like talking down, like, you motherfucker. I
Pulls
put
out his
so much effort
megaphone.
into you."
Yeah.
Yeah, with a megaphone,
Yeah,
I'm
it's
instantly like, instantly
5
buy
or
a
6
prison.
days you need to put into.
No. Next thing I'm building
Well, yeah, I
is a prison. I
instantly-
haven't built one yet. I'm fucking building one next, I swear to God.
Yeah, it's a prison because you just sit them there and you still have to go to them and re-educate them.
Yeah,
all
but
the
at least
time,
they're away
but
from everyone else yapping.
It stops them fucking other people. And you know what? I get it. Your animals shit in one place, and don't shit where you eat,
Yeah.
and don't puke randomly.
I go
Just-
run through a dungeon, I come back, everyone's thrown up everywhere, shit everywhere, and they just keep walking into it being like, oh, how'd this get
I
here? I'm
get
like,
it.
it's probably
You need
yours.
to make an outhouse.
Yeah.
Need
I know,
to make an
I get it.
outhouse.
There's an outhouse and stuff, but at the same time, fucking, I don't want to spend half the time I come back to my cult, fucking sweeping up, fucking just getting all the shit. Like, no.
You
Fuck
don't
off.
know. That shit comes in handy later. So
The funniest clip I've seen, and I totally understood it, was I saw Jackie Butler post this clip when she was streaming, Alfredo's partner from Achievement Hunter, like post this clip when she was streaming on Twitch, where she wasn't paying any attention to the food she was creating, and she just like quickly crafted 6 or 7 versions of the one that's like really low chance of dropping like a 3-star item or like a 70% chance it just kills your follower. And it's like these people just all go over, start eating the food one by one, like 6-7 people just start dropping down. So if you want to watch something funny, which I totally felt, because the first time I crafted one of those, I didn't read it properly, and I crafted a bunch of other stuff, but I crafted one of those, and then I had one of my followers just drop dead, and I was like, what the fuck? Like, and I went and looked in the food, and I was like, oh, 70% chance they'll die, right? That's a high percent. Like, yeah, maybe
Yeah.
don't craft that anymore. So, yeah, but that clip's quite funny, so.
but yeah, super fun. A lot of the combat super great. Like very not super hard, but like challenging enough.
Yeah, the point,
Very satisfying.
I haven't played a
Also,
bunch.
one of the trophies is beating like the boss, the mini bosses without getting hit.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I didn't find that out till I accidentally did it.
Can you
Like the
replay
4th
them?
one. Yes, you can. So once you
can.
go back in, you destroy their statue.
You can.
You can see like their statues and like one of the weapon.
Yeah, so
rooms
what, you can
when you
just
start.
re-trigger
You
it.
destroy their statue and there's a portal
Okay, right.
underneath.
Yep.
Yeah.
There's because yeah, I've just been grinding the first one. I haven't moved on to the second one yet. Like I just keep, which I don't know if it's a good idea or not. I
know.
don't think it is.
Um,
but
I think
I've
you
just
know,
been
as long as
grinding
you're
the first
building up your village, it's just going to be easier to do the stuff
Yeah.
further along.
As far where I'm up to, I haven't played like as much as I'd like because I've had other things to play. But the I died on the second boss. My first attempt was the last thing I did. I nearly got him and then killed me. So, but that's where I'm as far as game wise. I am. I have an outhouse built. I have like a big farm. I've got about fucking a million like tents and things. I kind of wish you could. The only thing that annoys me about that is they take up so much room. Like the fact you have to build like one.
Well,
per
I guess
person.
eventually you build like a building that does
Do
it
you
all
though?
for everybody, right? Do you?
For building what?
Like for
For
where
like
they
a
sleep.
place for them to sleep.
It kind of annoys me that it's singular. So
It's all individuals. Yeah.
so it's kind of
Each person gets a tent.
It takes
so.
up so much room to build one tent.
We'll just put it, far away from where you want it.
Yeah, I
You know?
mean,
spread out is my advice.
yeah, I have.
Don't
I've got,
put everything
I've
in the
got
same
farm,
place.
like on the very left side, and like the cooking on the very left side, and then I've got like all their sleeping areas on the very right, and yeah, so I've got it split out. But still, I'm like take up so much space, but that's right. I built a few random, what do you call it? Display items and stuff that you unlock, which is fun. So pretty much anytime there's an option between do you want gold, wood, or this random
Thing.
I just take the random thing, which is probably to my detriment because I'm constantly never have resources I need when I could definitely have enough if
Yeah.
I pick them. But I'm like, but the thing is probably more rare.
But it's a question mark.
Yeah, and I feel like it's
a
rarer. I
question
can always get more wood over a long period of time, but these are so. But that's cool. We're all enjoying that. Something else.
Also, million sales announced this week.
Yes,
so, in 1 week.
they were on the project as well. I retweeted that before I saw it. I was like, that's crazy.
They're this year's big Aussie success
Yeah,
story.
Aussie
so
Australia
far.
just continues to smash it out with the indies. It's fucking insane. So, it's a pity we don't have a little bit more investment. But something else you've been playing that you haven't got a chance to talk about because your review for it dropped the week I did the solo show. But 2 Point Campus.
Yes.
So you want to talk a little bit?
2 Point
about
Campus. So this is the latest game from 2 Point Studios, who made 2 Point Hospital, which is the spiritual successor to Theme Hospital. This time, you're trying to run universities instead of a hospital. Each you just play through several years of courses, managing the different teachers, managing the different courses you run. Each university, very much like Theme Hospital, there's multiple different levels or schools that you need to run. And there's like a 3-star rating, if you achieve a bunch of tasks and that kind of stuff.
I think it's 2 points, but
No, it's 3. Okay. 3 stars.
Okay, 3 Point Hospital, 3 Point Campus, whatever.
I don't know. That's just how it is. There's 5 points on the stars, so I don't know why it's 2 point. Don't know. Yeah, really enjoyable. I don't think it's as obviously funny as 2 Point Hospital was when I first started playing that. You start going into 2 Point Hospital, and the first thing you see is guys walking around with light bulbs for heads, and you're like, they're lightheaded, very funny, very funny sickness. The first course you do in 2 Point Campus is IT. Very, very hilarious. But there's little jokes run throughout the entire game, a lot of different references in the different course names, and even all the students are procedurally generated. They're all got the unique traits. Some are really goth kids. There's a bunch of vampire people. There's a bunch of really weird stuff. And then a lot of the different campuses have their own personalities. One campus, you are training knights to old school knights, so they've got to go to classes where they're practicing swordsmanship or practicing jousting, and then they come down with rust issues when it rains and that kind of stuff. That kind of thing. There's also a magical school that is definitely not in any way related to a one that centers around a boy with a lightning-shaped scar on his head, in which there's a former student who's constantly attacks the school and causes a lot of students to have pumpkins for heads and that kind of stuff. You have to treat them all and that kind of stuff. So you get money for how many students you have, how well they're doing in the courses, and how much they're enjoying being at the school. But then some of the different universities have different financial ways of making money and that kind of stuff. So I really enjoyed it. I think if you're a fan of these kind of games, it's definitely a nice twist on 2 Point Hospital, which has been very successful, and it seems to constantly be having new content, even if it is paid DLC. You see them giving away rewards on Twitch Prime all the time, that kind of stuff. Always new stuff to unlock. Yeah, I had a great time. Hopefully I'll go back and get more of the 3 stars. My advice would be don't try and 3-star everything on the way through. Because as you go along with each university, you unlock different things that'll help you, like a training machine that'll help train up your staff and that kind of stuff. So that would like save several hours of me trying to play like 3-star that first level and that kind of thing. So yeah, I found it really enjoyable, lots of fun, different unique levels and that kind of stuff, and good time, like fun passive kind of game. You can kind of like set it and like kind of watch as the students run around, that kind of stuff. So yeah, lots of good like UI things that like are super helpful. Like quickly being able to set like preset rooms and like so you can just quickly dump like a lecture theater, which you pretty much have the exact same shape every time, that kind of stuff. So I did play with it briefly with a controller. That lasted for all of like 10 minutes.
Yeah, I know this is on like PlayStation.
I could
Xbox
not do it.
And everything, but I can't imagine playing this sort of game.
No, just getting to all the menus. There is a lot of menus, and it's like getting to them is like I have to push this button and then move across 3 times and then push another button. No, even though that's what you do in every single video game. That's not what I want to do in like a menu based game. No,
this sort of game is definitely a PC. I mean, if you've only got console, I guess
preference. If you only have console, play it in console. But
if you have a
PC
choice,
would be the preference. Yeah.
All right. Before we wrap up, Marvel Snap. I'm gonna make sure to mention it. There you go. And let us. I'll do it for this week.
That was it. That was the only reference.
I'm up to rank 72 this season. Shout outs to me. Keep on.
Wow.
Keep on keeping on.
That's impressive.
Yeah. Keep on keeping on. Let us know any comments, questions, concerns you have for this week. Share it by tweeting at us or joining at Discord. ExplosionNetwork.com/Discord. ExplosionNetwork.com/Twitter. Shout out to Jamie Penning, who messaged me the other day and was like, hey, you should really play Octopath. What's my call? I reckon you'll like it. And I said, that sounds great. I look forward to playing it when I can get off Marvel Snap.
Marvel Snap goes down.
I was like, all my time is mobile game time is 100% currently committed to Marvel Snap. I'm so sorry. But I have downloaded it, so maybe I'll get there eventually. If you liked this episode and thought it was worth $1, head on over to our Ko-fi page, ExplosionNetwork.com/support, and buy us a coffee over there. It'll be a great way to support the show and the website. And till next week, have a great time. Have a fantastic week. Arcade Couch next week. Arcade Couch, present questions. Don't want to miss either. I'm sure they'll be fantastic.
Is there like a big conference next week?
Yeah, let's just say yes. I'm going to say yes. I'm not even going to look. Yes,
is Gamescom next week?
Tomorrow? Yeah. Actually, yes.
Is it opening night live?
Yes, it is actually, I think. Hold on. Let's do it live.
It's like 23rd, right? It's like kind of crept up.
Yes. Yeah.
Is it that? And they just announced a Ubisoft thing this week, right?
That's on September.
They announced something else.
Though. Yeah, that's early September.
There's something else they announced as well.
Yeah, that's right. Get hyped, everyone. Shit's
Everything's
happening.
coming.